Hi, welcome to this part of my review featuring Shinobigami, a role-playing game where the player characters participate as ninja, carrying out all sorts of missions with intrigue, danger, adventure, assassinations, and the appearance or manifestation of all sorts of supernatural powers. In this part of the review, we are going to focus on the use of Nimpo and the mysterious ohgi, the secret powers of the ninja clans. We are going to talk about other things as well. So let's begin with cover. Those that lurk in the world of shadows must keep their true identities a secret when moving in normal society. To that end, every ninja adopts a cover that they wear to deceive those around them. Each player may, if they wish, decide on their character's cover, or you can obtain this randomly by making a roll on a specific table, listing various covers or facades that they can use to trick the world around them into thinking that they are normal people instead of ninja. So for example, we have the Otaki Clan that are kinda like the ninja scientists. So as cover they could be researchers, artisans, doctors. When it comes to the Kurama Clan, which are specialists in martial arts, they could use as a cover the excuse of being athletes, detectives, or even mercenaries, because some ninja could be mercenaries, but not all mercenaries are ninja. When it comes to the lost ones that have no traditional background compared to the other ninja clans, they have this sort of drifter or wanderer style to them. They could be artists, gamblers, or part-timers as their fake lifestyles. When it comes to the Hirasaka agency, because of their ties to different government officials and organizations, they could act as bureaucrats, as politicians, or religious leaders. When it comes to the Otaki Clan, which are basically the ninja academy of the shadow world, they could present themselves as secondary school students, as college students, or perhaps as professors. When it comes to the Oni, they could be poets, dilettantes, or revolutionaries. This of course works in harmony with their occult and sorcerer's background. Next we have information on convictions, the sixfold path. The character's basic personality should be determined because a ninja usually falls within one of 6 convictions. If a player ever finds themselves unsure as to what their character would do in a situation, they may refer to the character's conviction for inspiration. However, a conviction is not strictly required. A player may ignore the conviction rule if they have a clear image of their character's personality, but you still have a table to randomly determine your conviction. So for example, maybe your character is focused on the self, on honor, money, power, an ideal, safety. You strive to further some personal goal. Maybe you are focusing on peace. You believe in a future where everyone can be at peace and walk the path of brotherhood. Or maybe you focus on chaos. Maybe you seek strife, destruction of society, or even the self. You want to watch something specific or perhaps everything burn. And these are just general attitudes. They are not a system of good and evil. For example, someone who follows the path of chaos may be seeking to bring down a dictatorial system. Or someone that focuses on order could actually focus on establishing a tyranny or dictatorship. So it all depends on your character's mission or outlook on life. Then we have information on skills. The character's skills must be chosen. They are the disciplines and techniques that the ninja have spent countless generations perfecting. Skills are divided into 6 categories, and each clan specializes in one of those categories. Each character knows 3 skills from their clan's specialized category, and 3 more skills from any of the categories. So you have a lot of versatility or flexibility when it comes to building your character. You never feel strictly tied to a specific subset of skills. When the player characters choose a skill, you should circle it on your skill matrix in the center of the character sheet. When determining if a skill fits the situation or not, you need to consider the entire skill's description rather than just the skill's name. In many cases, the skill includes a suite of related activities. So, in general, skills are broad categories. And it's important to circle this on the chart that I mentioned because when you use those skills later on in different situations and encounters, there's actually a sort of sub-feature that tells you how effective you're going to be at solving a particular problem. So first we have technology. Technology represents the ability to effectively use various tools and devices. Some of these skills could include demolition, which has to do with the use of smoke bombs and other tools of distraction, as well as the destruction of locks, windows, mechanical devices, and the like, with or without explosive devices. You also have hydromancy. This is the use of tools that control water, including diving equipment. It also includes knowledge of various other liquids. And then there is rope work, skills associated with tying knots securely and throwing ropes, including for the purpose of capturing people. Next we have martial arts. This refers to abilities and techniques used to hone one's control of their own body. You have things such as ballistics, skill with firearms, cannons, bows, and other projectiles. It also includes the science of ballistics. You also have hand-to-hand, of course, which is unarmed combat and grappling, the ability to fight with one's bare hands. You also have footwork, walking without making noise, hiking long distances, and keeping your footing. Next we have stealth. Stealth represents the ability to hide one's presence, while at the same time confusing or misdirecting others. So this has to do with things such as survival, comprising the skills and knowledge to stay alive in high and low temperature environments, underwater and other extreme conditions. There's also interception, listening to a target through walls and from above ceilings, as well as using electronic hacking abilities. There's also disguise, the skill and tools to impersonate another person. Then we have scheming. Scheming is the ability to make things happen in accordance with one's plans and by manipulating people and objects. And all of these skills that I am telling you, they are just examples. There are many specific skills within these broad categories. So when it comes to scheming, you have things such as poison, knowledge of poisons and other toxins, as well as the ability to employ them effectively. You have trap, the ability to set and avoid traps, utilizing various sorts of traps and mechanisms on intruders or pursuers as well. And you have finances. It represents financial power and the ability to get what you need when money is involved. Then we have strategy, which represents the ability to improve one's chances of winning skirmishes and battles. So this has to do with tactics, which is the skill of efficiently maneuvering units and troops. You also have memory, the ability to remember facts and recall minute details. And then you have nature, knowledge of the natural world and how to live and act in the wild. Then we have sorcery. This includes knowledge of the monstrous, the magical, and the manipulation of otherworldly forces. This includes necromancy, which is the control of spirits and bodies of the dead. There's also binding, the ability to seal away the sorcerous and unnatural abilities of others. And we have kotodama, creating and controlling the magic inherent in words, both spoken and written, and in esoteric Chinese characters. So this explains why Shinobigami is published by Kotodama Heavy Industries. And as you can see, these skills are quite versatile. There is a lot of flexibility when it comes to how you can apply each of these skills. Some of them could serve in the same situation. Perhaps the knowledge of the natural environment could be used in a situation where the survival skill also comes into play. But we will talk more about that when I cover the system of this role-playing game. Now let's talk about gaps. As I mentioned earlier, when you choose a skill, you make a circle in the matrix on your character sheet. The thin white squares found between each skill category on the character sheet are called gaps. Once a character's skills have been chosen, the gaps on either side of the character's specialized skill category should be blacked out. The gaps on either side of the character's specialized skill category should be blacked out. Gaps filled in this way are treated as though they don't exist. And as I said, this will be further explained or clarified when I talk about the system itself. Then we have life points. Looking at the top of the 6 categories found in the skill matrix of the character sheet, you will see that each category contains a white box. Each box represents that category's life point, or LP, and indicates whether that category has been damaged. Life points are an abstraction of a character's physical and mental health. As long as a character has at least one life point remaining, they can continue to act. Once a character's life points drop to 0, however, they are unable to function. At the beginning of the game, each character has a life point for each category, for a total of 6 life points. As life points are lost, draw an X through affected life point slots to show which categories are affected. Next we have extra life points. Player characters may, through the use of Ninpo or the effects of certain prizes, gain additional life points, granting them extra LP slots in which damage can be placed. If a character has any unmarked extra LP slots and takes damage, the damage must be assigned to the extra LP slots first, unless otherwise specified. Next we have Ninpo. Ninpo are the mysterious abilities, attacks, and forms that have been perfected by the ninja clans over many centuries. And remember, these are not ohgi. Those are even more powerful, although they do have a weakness. When used during the game, Nimpo have special effects that can alter the course of play. During combat, ninja use Nimpo to attack their opponents and help their allies. Chunin rank ninja, which include all starting player characters, begin with the close combat attack Nimpo and 4 additional Nimpo of their choice. A player may choose their character's Nimpo from both the general Nimpo list and their clan Nimpo list. However, at least one Ninpo must come from the clan list, and they may not choose Nimpo from a clan list that is not their own. When a player chooses Nimpo for their character, they should write down the type, cost, range, assigned skill, and effect in the Nimpo list found on the bottom of the character sheet. A brief description of the effect or even a page reference will suffice. The close combat Nimpo found on the character sheet is a basic Nimpo that is learned by every ninja of every rank. It does not count towards the 4 Nimpo that are chosen by new characters, but the player must choose a skill to use as this Nimpo's assigned skill and write it in the space provided. Now, there are 3 types of Nimpo: attack, support, and equip. Attack Nimpo are used during your turn in battle and deal various types of damage directly to an opponent. Support Nimpo have a variety of uses, including inflicting status ailments on opponents or otherwise aiding in combat. By combining the effects of multiple support Nimpo, you can come up with some interesting results. Equip Nimpo stay in effect at all times once chosen. Most Nimpo can only be taken once. However, there are a few Nimpo that can be taken multiple times. Now, when it comes to assigned skills, they are the skills that are used to activate a Nimpo's effect. If a Nimpo has an assigned skill, a skill check using the assigned skill must be passed before the Nimpo takes effect. Some Nimpo are listed with an assigned skill of any, that is, any category, or with multiple skills. In these cases, the assigned skill must be chosen from the indicated range of skills when the Nimpo is selected. Once chosen, the assigned skill is recorded in the Nimpo list section of the character sheet and cannot be changed. Now, when it comes to other limits on Nimpo, the basic limit for the use of Nimpo is this: any given Nimpo may only be used once per cycle in drama scenes. We will talk more about those in a future part of this review. Or once per round in combat, that is, in combat scenes. The range of a Nimpo indicates how far away a ninja can be and still use the Nimpo against a target in combat. The cost of a Nimpo indicates its ease of use. Nimpo with lower cost are easier to use than Nimpo with higher cost. Nimpo can only be used by characters participating in the scene, unless stated otherwise. Likewise, the target must also be in the scene as well. Now, there are a lot of Nimpo techniques. Let me show you a few of them. When it comes to attack Nimpo, you have cross cut. Hold back until you penetrate the opponent's guard, then, in that moment, strike with all of your fury. You also have poison fist. Poison is one of the many tools of a ninja's arsenal. Apply to your claws and attack. You also have sand bind. The enemy is enveloped in a sandstorm, becoming dehydrated and withering away. As you can see, maybe you have seen some of these techniques in anime and manga. They obviously took inspiration from several sources. You also have blast. While this projectile attack does not have a long range, it packs an explosive punch. There is also domineer. Calling on the aid of birds, insects, and other creatures, a ninja can send a relentless swarm of small animals after the enemy. Then we have support Nimpo. And remember, there are many attack Nimpo, this is just a small sample. When it comes to support Nimpo, you have Take the Hit. A ninja is trained to throw their life away in service of another or a common purpose. Take a blow meant for someone else. There's also Resupply. Tools of the trade can always be replenished by having friends within the clan headquarters or private black market contacts. There's also Arrow Catching. A long cloak, clothes, a curtain, a tatami mat, anything soft and flexible can be quickly manipulated to block, deflect, or hamper the effects of arrows, daggers, and even bullets. That's a classic one, you have probably seen it in anime or even some Asian films where there is this character with very long sleeves and he or she starts to deflect the many projectile attacks. There is also Counter. Your opponent missed you by a hair's breadth, exactly as you planned. Now it's your turn. Then we have Equip Nimpo, such as Extensive Knowledge. You are learned in the ways of the shinobi world. You are a walking ninja encyclopedia. There is also Starvation. Drawing out the battle, a strategy of attrition will wear down your opponent. That's the moment when you strike. There is also Tough. Some ninja can condition their bodies for incredible vitality. Then we have the Ninpo for each of the ninja clans. The Hasuba ninja army has Ninpo such as Skill. Every ninja leads a double life. Find that part of your opponent that walks in the sun, then strike when their guard is down. You also have Sunder. A skilled opponent treats their weapon as an extension of themselves. Destroy it and even the odds. In the Kurama Shin clan category we have Drizzle. A projectile attack that rains confusion on your foes. Confusion but also shuriken, arrows and bullets. There is also Bloody Determination. First, you must understand the limits of your physical form. Now push far past them and strike with power. When it comes to the Lost Ones category, we have things such as Spiral Formation. Move in a spiral motion while attacking, engaging multiple opponents at once. There is also Nimpo Copy. You watched intently as they used a unique ninja art. Now that Nimpo is yours. You've made it your own. When it comes to the Hirasaka Agency Nimpo, you have Anti-Toxin. This ability can cure the status ailments on yourself and your allies. There is also Marionette. Learn what makes your enemy tick, infiltrate their mind, then bend them to your will. When it comes to the Otogi Private Academy category, you have Ambush. Use a group of foes your opponent would never expect to ambush them when their guard is down. There is also Blitzkrieg. Find the target, kill the target, sometimes the direct path is best. When it comes to the Bloodline of Oni Nimpo category, you have Vortex of Blood. Alter a part of your own body, or even your very blood. Attack your opponent with it. There is also Vampirism. Some ninja have learned the art of stealing life essence from others. So as you can see, these Nimpo are quite universal or general. You can modify their trappings, their aspect, their aesthetic. Even if it's a Nimpo that has to do with a ranged attack, it could be a barrage of needles, of shuriken, of kunai. Maybe you are throwing rocks. Maybe you shoot out some sort of magical projection. It's all about the style of your ninja. We also have advanced Nimpo such as Asura, a legendary wide area attack only available to expert ninja. You also have Spiritual Awakening. Opening your third eye, you realize that all this time you were the master of a ninja art. You just didn't know it until now. There is also Breath. As the situation around you becomes dangerous, your concentration increases to inhuman levels, and time seems to slow down around you. We also have Gale. At this level of skill in the ninja arts, your movements are so fast that, to you, an oncoming gale is but a gentle breeze. And like I said, this is just a small sample of the many Nimpo that you can use to build up your ninja and to wield this Nimpo in battle, of course. Next we have information on ohgi. Many ninja have honed an incredibly powerful and personal technique, kept secret from even their closest friends. This is called an ohgi. Chunin characters start with a single ohgi. ohgi may be used once per drama scene or once per round of combat. There are 7 ohgi types. Some of them are pretty self-explanatory. You have critical hit, area attack, Immortal Body. Now when it comes to Immortal Body, this ohgi can be used at any time. You recover life points equal to the roll of 1d6 minus the number of times this ohgi has been used this session. You also have Perfect Defense, Perfect Success. Perfect Success basically gives you an automatic success in a skill roll. You also have Dark Interference. This ohgi is used after another character appearing in the same scene rolls dice for a skill check, so this actually modifies the skill check, turning the target's dice into a 1. You also have Extra Nimpo. When this ohgi is chosen, you select 2 attack or support Nimpo that are available to your character, and then you can use one of them when the moment is right, when it is appropriate to do so. As you can see, these ohgi are extremely powerful, but they have a weakness. They rely completely on a secret. Once you identify the secret of your opponent's ohgi, you no longer need to fear that ohgi so much. We will talk more about that later on in the review. You choose an ohgi from these 7 types and record its effect in the ohgi section of the character sheet. Then you come up with a visual and audio description of the technique. You can even randomly determine the name of the ohgi. You have tables to do so. So for example, maybe your ohgi is called Sword Dance of the Snow Dream, or maybe it's called Hidden Technique of the Shadow Thief, or perhaps it's called Evil Aura of the Rainbow Spider. So there are many cool names, very over the top, to add a bit more personality or character to your own techniques. Then we have Emo Bonds. The people section of the character sheet will be filled out throughout the course of the game. An emo bond or emotional bond reveals how one character feels towards another character. The bonds that form between player characters also allow special abilities to be used. We will talk about this in detail when I cover the system, but it's basically that relationship between two characters. It could be a relationship of enmity, or a romantic relationship, or a friendship, and this has some effects, of course, during the course of the story. There's also information on merit. A character's merit represents how much service a character has rendered to their clan. A character can spend merit to become more powerful by receiving bonus and rank from their clan. A new character starts with 0 merit unless they take flaws as part of their background. And when it comes to backgrounds, you may represent your character's upbringing or history through the use of backgrounds, of course, each of which has a specific mechanical effect. There are 2 types of backgrounds, virtues and flaws. At character creation, a character starts with no virtues or flaws. However, they can choose virtues as long as their cost is offset equally by flaws. New players should avoid backgrounds for their first session. It is recommended, as they can make a game a little more complicated. But because of that, it's also a richer experience in my opinion. When it comes to virtues, they give a character a beneficial effect. Before the session begins, a character may spend the required amount of merit to adopt a virtue. At the end of a session, a character may abandon a virtue, and upon doing so, that character will regain the merit that was spent on that virtue. Maybe you have the virtue of safe house. You have a safe house that no one knows about, that you retreat to when danger strikes. You spent a lot of time designing it, and it provides a safe place to rest and recover. Maybe you have the virtue of Kizuna. You share a special unbreakable bond of fate, a Kizuna, with another person. This is different from the Emo Bonds. We will talk more about those, as I mentioned, in the next part of this review. Maybe you have the virtue of Hardened. From a young age, you have spent a great deal of time conditioning your body with small dosages of poison, magic, and curses. Now you are resistant to many ailments that would debilitate others. When it comes to flaws, they give a character detrimental effects in exchange for a special amount of merit. Once selected, a character's flaws can never be changed. However, at the end of a session, if the game master feels that a character actively overcame their flaw, the character may remove the flaw. So maybe you have the flaw of lack of emotion. The piece of your heart responsible for a particular emotion is missing. Maybe you have the flaw of Code of Chivalry. You romanticize stories of the samurai code and honor and justice on the battlefield. For ninja, this kind of belief in fair fights and glory, rather than raw results, is unacceptable and dangerous. Maybe you have the flaw of cold-hearted. As a ninja, you've betrayed or been betrayed too many times to count. Over time, you've become incapable of feeling empathy for others. There's also information on ninja gear. They are tools frequently used by all ninja. There are 3 types: Bits of Life, Some Appeals, and Prayer Seals. A Bit of Life is an item that can be used at any time. When consumed, a ninja regains a lost life point or recovers from a status ailment. When it comes to Some Appeals, these items may be used after you have rolled dice for a skill check. You consume this item and reroll the skill check. You can avoid a fumble result this way. You also have Prayer Seals. These items may be used after another character appearing in the same scene as you rolls dice for a skill check. Alternatively, it can be used when a character not appearing in the current scene rolls dice for a skill check, if your character is also not in the scene. When this item is used, the character must reroll the skill check, ignoring the previous result. This can be used to make an ally reroll and avoid a fumble result, or to make an opponent reroll a critical result or other success. It is important to note that when a piece of ninja gear is used, it is expended and gone for good. A character starts with 2 pieces of ninja gear to be selected at the beginning of each session. They may choose 2 of the same type, or 2 different pieces as they see fit. And there is the possibility of starting the session with extra gear. For every 2 merit points that the ninja spends, a character can start the session with an extra piece of ninja gear, a Bit of Life, a Some Appeal, or Prayer Seal. However, a character may never have more than 6 pieces of ninja gear at any one time, including the 2 free starting ones. A character with 6 ninja gear may not gain any additional ninja gear under any circumstance. Any ninja gear, whether free or bought with merit, is lost at the end of the session with no compensation. And this concludes the review for today. On the next part, I am going to talk about conflict resolution, skill checks, combat, many mechanical details. So I hope you will watch that part of the review as well. As you can see in this part, we get a pretty good view of how you can personalize, customize your ninja with all sorts of powers, backgrounds, abilities. You have an extensive list for each category, but you can modify those in any way that you like, modifying the shapes, the colors of your attacks, of your flourishes, your magical effects. It's all up to you. Well, thank you for watching this review, and thank you so much to those of you that have been supporting the channel by sending Drive-Thru-RPG gift certificates. If anyone else wants to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. Once again, thank you, and see you later.